You were lied to. From the moment you entered a classroom, you were fed a sedative. You were told that the world rewards the good, that if you work hard, follow the rules, and treat everyone with kindness, the universe will somehow conspire to hand you success. This is not a strategy. It is a fairy tale designed to keep you compliant. While you were busy being nice, the people who actually run the world were studying a different set of maps. They understand a truth that makes most people's stomachs churn. Power is not a reward for virtue. Power is the result of effective positioning. Niccolo Machiavelli wrote that a man who wishes to make a profession of goodness in everything must necessarily come to ruin among so many who are not good. If you are watching this, it's because you've felt the weight of that ruin. You've been the hardest worker who got passed over for a promotion. You've been the loyal friend who was discarded when you were no longer useful. Tonight, we stop looking at the world as it should be and start looking at it as it is. We are going to dissect the 13 dark rules of power. These are not for the faint of heart. They are cold, they are clinical, and once you understand them, the world will never look like a garden again. It will look like what it truly is, a landscape of predators and prey. Welcome to the architect's level. Let's begin. Rule 1. Use silence as a vacuum. Most people are terrified of silence. In a conversation, when the air goes quiet, the average person feels an overwhelming urge to fill it. They babble. They overshare. They reveal their insecurities, their plans, and their weaknesses just to ease the social tension. The dark rule. Silence is a vacuum, and in nature, a vacuum pulls everything toward it. When you stop talking, other people start. They want to please you, or they want to know what you're thinking. In their discomfort, they will hand you information you didn't even ask for. Machiavelli understood that the more you speak, the more likely you are to say something foolish or reveal a vulnerability. If you want to dominate a room, speak less than necessary. Be the person whose words are expensive. When you do speak, let it be short and ambiguous. This creates an aura of mystery. People cannot attack what they cannot understand. By staying silent, you force them to project their own fears onto you. You become a mirror, and they become the data source. Rule 2. Never appeal to mercy, only to self-interest. This is the most common mistake the good person makes. When they need help, they remind people of their past favors. They say, "Remember when I helped you move?" or "I've been so loyal to this company for 10 years. This is pathetic, and in the world of power, pathos is a weakness. The dark rule. No one cares about your past loyalty or your moral plight. People only care about what you can do for them now. When you ask for a favor, do not remind the other person of your kindness. That creates a feeling of obligation, and humans naturally resent being obligated. Instead, find something in your request that will benefit them. Show them how helping you will increase their status, their wealth, or their security. Robert Greene's 13th law of power is clear. Appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. A hungry dog doesn't care if you fed him for a year. He cares about the steak in your hand today. Become the person who always has the stake. Rule 3. Presence through absence. There is a phenomenon in economics called scarcity. The more there is of something, the less it is worth. This applies to human beings. If you are always available, always answering texts in seconds, always showing up to every party, you are a commodity. You are air, necessary but taken for granted. The dark rule: to increase your value, you must learn to disappear. In the early stages of a relationship or a business deal, you must be present and vibrant. But once you have established your worth, you must withdraw. Create a void. Let them wonder where you are. Let them realize that life is slightly colder and less interesting without your presence. Machiavelli noted that familiarity breeds contempt. The more you are seen and heard from, the more common you appear. By withdrawing strategically, you transform from a common person into an elite resource. Respect is born in the space between your appearances. Rule 4. Master the art of the mask, the mirror effect. The world tells you to be yourself. This is the most dangerous advice you will ever receive. Being yourself means being predictable. It means wearing your emotions on your sleeve for every predator to see. The most powerful individuals in history were never themselves. They were whatever the situation required them to be. The dark rule: you are not a fixed identity. You are a series of performances. When you are with a subordinate, you are the stoic leader. When you are with a superior, you are the humble, efficient student. When you are with an enemy, you are the oblivious friend. This is what Dr. Robert Hare calls the mask of sanity. You mirror the expectations of the person across from you. If they are ambitious, you mirror their drive. If they are insecure, you mirror their caution. By reflecting them, you make them feel safe. And when a person feels safe, they stop guarding their neck. That is when you have them. Rule 5. Keep your plans hidden. The fog of war. Why do you tell people your goals? Because you want the cheap dopamine of their approval. You want them to say, "Good for you." But the moment you announce your move, you lose the advantage of surprise. You invite sabotage. You give your enemies time to build a wall. The dark rule: operate in the fog of war. Machiavelli advised that a leader should always keep his true intentions hidden. If people don't know what you're aiming for, they can't defend against it. Lead them down a false path. Talk about a project you have no intention of finishing. Complain about a problem that doesn't actually bother you. By the time they realize where your true interest lies, you should already be crossing the finish line. Your success should be a sudden, unexplainable event to everyone else. Stealth is the mother of victory. Rule 6. Selectively destroy your reputation to build a better one. Your reputation is the cornerstone of your power. But sometimes your reputation is too nice. If people think you are a pushover, they will treat you like one. The dark rule: sometimes you must intentionally damage your good reputation to install a dangerous one. If you have been too available or too kind, you must perform an act of strategic coldness. Fire someone. Say no to a request from a powerful person. Set a boundary that makes people uncomfortable. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Love is fickle.
People love you when it's convenient, but fear is a constant. Fear is a calculation of consequences. Once you have established that you have teeth, people will treat your kindness as a gift, not an expectation.
Rule 7. Make people dependent on you. The ultimate form of power is not control, it is necessity. If people can do what you do, or if they can live without you, you are expendable. The moment a business or a partner no longer needs you, they will look for a cheaper or newer version of you. The dark rule: tie your survival to theirs. In a company, become the only person who understands a critical system or holds a key relationship. In a social circle, be the one who provides the most important resource, whether it's information, status, or emotional stability. Do not teach them everything you know. Keep the source code to yourself. As long as they need you to function, they are under your thumb. Freedom is a myth in power dynamics. There is only the degree of dependency. Rule 8. The Trojan horse of selective honesty. If you lie all the time, you are a liar. People stop listening to you. Your words lose their power. But if you are always honest, you are a fool. You are predictable and easily manipulated. The dark rule: use honesty as a tactical weapon. To hide a big lie, tell a small, uncomfortable truth. Admit a minor mistake. Confess a small insecurity. This selective honesty acts as a smokescreen. It makes people believe you are a genuine person. Once you have established this honest persona, their guard will drop. They will trust you with their secrets, and when the time comes for you to deliver a massive deception or a strategic move, they will never see it coming because they have already labeled you as honest. Honesty is the bait, the hook is the agenda.
Rule 9. Target the shepherd to scatter the sheep. Every group has a center of gravity. In every workplace, every family, and every social hierarchy, there is one person who sets the tone, one person who provides the permission for others to act. The dark rule: do not waste energy fighting the crowd. Find the leader. If you want to change a dynamic or destroy a resistance, you don't argue with everyone. You isolate the person at the top. If you can win them over, the rest follow. If you must destroy them, do it decisively. Once the shepherd is neutralized, either through seduction, replacement, or social isolation, the rest of the group loses its direction. They become a collection of individuals looking for a new leader. Be that leader. Rule 10. Win through action, never through argument. Arguing is the lowest form of human interaction. When you argue with someone, you are acknowledging that their opinion matters. You are giving them power. Even if you win the argument, you often lose the person's favor because you've bruised their ego. The dark rule: stop explaining yourself. Just demonstrate. If someone says your idea won't work, don't argue with them. Do the work, get the result, and show it to them. The result is an undeniable reality. It doesn't require words. Machiavelli noted that people are generally selfish and short-sighted. They will ignore your logic, but they cannot ignore your power. Let your successes do the shouting while you remain silent. Rule 11. Never show the wound. In the wild, predators look for the limp. They look for the animal that is struggling to keep up. Human society is no different. If you show your pain, your desperation, or your financial struggle, people will not pity you in a way that helps you. They will instinctively move away from you, or worse, they will move in to take advantage of your weakness. The dark rule: bleed in private. No matter how much you are hurting, your public face must be one of absolute composure. If you are desperate for money, act like you have plenty. If you are heartbroken, act like you are focused on your mission. Vulnerability is for your therapist and your journal. In the arena of power, vulnerability is an invitation for the sharks. Stay dangerous by staying whole in the eyes of others. Rule 12. Generosity is a strategic loan. There is no such thing as a free gift in the world of power. Every act of generosity is a transaction, whether the other person realizes it or not. The dark rule: use generosity to create debt. When you give someone a gift, a tip, or a favor, you are not being nice. You are placing a psychological weight on them. They now owe you. The most effective way to do this is to give people things they didn't ask for but desperately needed. This makes your generosity feel divine. But in your mind, it's a ledger entry. One day, you will need to collect, and because you were the generous one, they will feel obligated to pay you back with interest.
Rule 13. Be formless. The water strategy. The most dangerous thing you can be is set in your ways. If you have a fixed style, a fixed routine, and a fixed set of morals, you are easy to map. You are a stationary target. The dark rule: be like water. In his 48th law, Robert Greene advises us to assume formlessness. If the world changes, change with it. If your enemy is aggressive, be yielding. If the market shifts, abandon your old business model instantly. Don't be the giant oak tree that snaps in the storm. Be the grass that bends and survives. By having no fixed shape, you are impossible to pin down. You can enter any room, adapt to any culture, and survive any crisis. These 13 rules are cold. They are dark, and for many of you, they feel wrong. That feeling is your conditioning. It is the voice of the shepherd trying to keep the sheep in the pen. You have a choice tonight. You can close this video, go back to being nice, and continue to wonder why the world feels so heavy and unfair. You can stay a good person in a garden that doesn't exist. Or you can accept the truth. You can realize that power is a tool, like a knife. In the hands of a surgeon, it saves lives. In the hands of a murderer, it takes them. By refusing to understand power, you are not being moral. You are being defenseless. The world needs architects who understand the dark so they can build the light. If you are ready to stop being food and start being the architect, then you belong here. This is only the beginning of what we have to discuss. Subscribe to stay in the shadows, but if you want the information the algorithm won't allow me to show publicly, the deep strategies of psychological warfare, click the join button. Step into the architect level. The door is open. Will you walk through?